All right, let's try that again. So, started doing this is my first Ludum Dare, and frankly, this is my first time really doing game development directly, as in like hands-on game development for quite some time. I've been a producer for about 10 years now, and I've been in the games industry for about 17. But I haven't been kind of doing a lot of hands-on since about 2005. Um, I've done it from time to time, as time is allowed, of course. But the opportunities there was always, there's only so many hours in a day, so and there's always excuses, so never quite got as much hands-on time as I really wanted. After Uber had their layoffs about a month ago, a little over a month ago now, I basically said I'm going to sit down and I'm going to really start getting my skills set back up to snuff. So while I'm still focused on producery type stuff, I want to feel like I can still contribute and produce and generate actual content and code, etc. So that's what I'm doing. Um, the challenge this time in Ludum Dare, of course, was everything on one screen. Fortunately, the concept I had been rolling around in my head all week lent itself to that. I will get a picture up later as to where the inspiration for this came from, but on the ceiling in our living room, there's approximately 1,020 cranes hanging from the ceiling. And for those of you who know the significance of that, yes, at least so far, the wish that those 1,020 cranes was about is hopefully coming true. We'll find out in April. So, um, at any rate, so the simple concept was through indirect action, getting the crane from the starting point to the end point. And then adding in traps, basically environmental hazards, whirlpools, a windmill that basically generates a buffer, and anything else I can do. And this map that you're seeing right here, I basically built in the last 30 minutes. I had been using a test level up till now. Kind of the high level successes on this were is one, I built at least a very basic game, and it's kind of the first time I've done that in a long time. So I'm very happy about that. Um, I've got the basic motions in. I've got, let me actually go ahead and start it up. Some of the things you'll notice. Oops, I actually don't want full screen. Let me turn that off. I got some of the kind of the challenges I wanted to set, where I wanted to get basically a slight interaction, more like the crane is floating on water. And I wanted to basically generate an art style that I feel like I could do entirely on my own. Everything in here I did generate. I used for people who are familiar with it, Prototype is a really great kind of quick, the Unity version of creating a BSP, and it allowed me to basically make these cute, silly, dorky-looking trees. Made this crane. Had imported a crane that I'd gotten offline, but I basically ended up spending about 3 hours fighting with Blender and other stuff, and it's like, okay, that's just stupid. Let's just make a quick crane and go with it, and stop wasting time on things like trying to mess with art pipelines for now. I'm not particularly an artist, and um, I'm still pretty pleased with what I came up with. Maybe next time I can convince one of my artist buddies to actually partner up with me so I can have something that looks a little bit better. So some of the basics are, you click on the screen, so indirectly, you'll notice the controls are still really fast. This is not precisely what I would want long term. I would want to spend a fair amount of time getting those feeling better. You notice he just got in the wind tunnel there. It's a little hard to get out once you're stuck in there. Going through fast is usually the recommended route. And here's a really big one, and once you go through there, I did have it set up to load additional levels, but I decided to turn that off just so I could actually have a basic, yay, crane made it home. So, talked about kind of what went right, and I'm moderately happy with how this turned out. There's of course already a million things I could see that I would want to do better, and I may actually continue working on this. I've been enjoying it, and I think I have the basics of a very simple kind of puzzler that might lend itself to iPad or other tablet devices, and you know what? Might as well mess around with it. What went wrong was I ended up losing most of Saturday. We had some life stuff come up that ended up eating a large majority of my day, and unfortunately by the time I did have time to work on it, I was so kind of demoralized and frustrated. I sat down for about an hour, hour and a half, and I was getting zero done. I was just so aggravated. So instead, I opened up a bottle of wine because that seemed like the right thing to do at the time. However, starting this morning, as soon as I woke up, I pretty quickly started getting into it and made a lot of progress. So I would like to think that if I had managed to make full use of the weekend, I would have made it a lot further. I'm pretty happy, like I said, with how this turned out, although there's still a lot of stuff I'd want. I don't really consider this a complete game yet. I consider this a basic gameplay prototype that kind of proves some of the core concepts. The windmill, let's load up one of the steam traps, that sort of thing. You can, let's see, where's my collision zones? So that's what actually keeps you in. And I basically, one of the things I did do is I started prefabbing everything. So, that when I wanted to start generating levels, this was going to be very easy to kind of quickly have a basic level layout that I could then proceed to kind of build off of. Some of the longer term goals I had wanted to do on it was, once I got the actual gameplay, like how strong is a click. One of the clicks I wanted to support was click, drag, release, so that the amount of force that applied would basically be dependent on how long your click and drag was, or if it was on a tablet, hold and drag. Reason being is I wanted to start, get some additional metagame in there where, how what's the minimum number or the minimum number of movements you can do to get to the end goal. Additional environmental hazards, some other interesting things going on. Obviously, I would love to get some more some actual sound effects, period, some music, and some more appropriate effects, including making the water look a little more interesting. I am intentionally using a kind of a toon shader format here, but I did want to get a little bit more visual appeal in it, which was one of the reasons I spent 10 minutes, 15 minutes creating this little goofy tree. So this is LudumDare31. I'm not going to be able to make a whole lot more progress in the remaining hour and a half. I'm going to continue messing around with it. I will see if I can get this posted somewhere as a playable web demo. Like I said, it's pretty dead simple. I did not get any internal, entry UI or anything else. But if you want to talk to me, obviously you saw or seeing this on YouTube. My handle is GaratNW, GaratNW on Twitter, and I love talking games. I like talking to people. So if you want to just shoot the shit, so to speak, and talk about how silly this concept is, or anything else for that matter, just give me a shout. I'd look forward to talking to you. And I hope you enjoyed this quick little postmortem on GaratNW or Marc Scattergood's Ludum Dare31 all on one screen challenge. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this.